Right guys, Mark Crossfield here with Zach from Cleveland, Cleveland Srixon. Cleveland Srixon.
Cleveland Srixon,
Yeah.
Srixon, Cleveland.
Srixon, Cleveland. Just been told from behind there. He's going to talk to us about the CBX Cleveland wedges. Now I'm quite intrigued with these because they're, well, we'll talk about them. Let's show you. And also, Zach, you're going to get treated to my short game expertise. Let's show Zach how we do it UK style-y round the greens. Oh my God. Let's get stuck in. Right, Zach, what have you got for me?
So we've got the Cleveland CBX Wedge.
Nice.
This is a brand new offering from Cleveland Golf and a brand new wedge category. So this is a cavity back wedge. This is a little bit different than the other cavity back wedges we've made in the past. The cavity back wedges were made after the Tour Blade Wedge. These have been made from scratch and are going to fit the cavity back golfer. Golfers that play cavity back irons, this is the wedge for you. You can see here, the first thing you'll notice is that wider sole.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit wider out towards the toe, so you have that forgiveness, but it's narrow towards the heels, just like a blade wedge, so you can have a little bit of versatility around the greens and open that face up. It's also got the Rotex face, so you're going to get the same spin and grooves that you get with the blade wedge. Going to help that consistency with your spin around the greens. It's also got the field balancing technology where we take weight from the hosel, those heavy hosels, and we move them out towards the toe.
So that's two incidents in Ice Club there where you're moving the CG more out towards the toe, but you told me that the CG still isn't in the toe, is it? It's actually still slightly heel side, but it kind of shows you how heely other wedges CG must be.
Yeah, all the wedges that are currently out there right now, their CG is really on that toe or the heel portion.
Yeah.
And so really what we've done is we've taken that weight, we've shortened the hosel and moved it over towards the toe. You can see here, you know, with the dual V soles we call it, as it gets out towards the toe, it gets a lot wider, and that's where we put a lot of that weight.
Because I mean, lots of amateurs, my experience of teaching amateurs, they're hitting it out the toe more than they're hitting it out the heel.
Yeah, no, that's where, you know, especially golfers that are playing cavity back irons, you're playing cavity back irons because they're more forgiving.
Yeah.
So why are you playing a blade wedge?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is doing.
Absolutely. And they are cavity back. There is a cavity in the back. Yet when I put it down this way, I'm seeing quite a good looking wedge.
Yeah, we worked really hard to get the shaping right. You know, we've scanned cavity back irons into the computer.
Right.
That was a good one.
Good one. Cheeky.
We've scanned cavity back irons in the computer, the leading cavity back irons, and we've created the shape based on that. So you're gonna see in your, oh goodness. You're going to see that in your lower lofted wedges that they're going to look more like your iron set, so there's not as much of a transition that needs to be made.
Yeah.
And then your wedges, your higher lofted wedges, are going to look more like wedges.
Okay. So this thicker toe, and there's a cavity in the neck, isn't there?
Yes.
Which is moving that CG out, and they've seen that a little bit in the RTX wedge that I use has this neck, but obviously not the thickness of this sole. Makes sense to me because lots of you are hitting them out the toe, certainly in wedges, all day long. The fact that they've brought the same grooves and milling on the face that you see in all the other wedges kind of makes a lot of sense to me. Like why would you not deliver that performance?
Exactly.
It has to be given to everyone.
Exactly.
And just the fact that you're trying to blend your cavity wedge with that set.
Oh my goodness.
Is there even a hole there?
I don't know.
You know, it's almost like you're trying to say, I feel like you're trying to say that a lot of people are using bladed wedges when maybe they shouldn't be.
Yeah, when you look at tour wedges or blade wedges, they're going to be, you know, obviously they're a lot less forgiving. They have a heavy shaft in them. They're just really hard to hit.
Because these have a lighter shaft in.
They do. They actually have a Dynamic Gold 115 wedge shaft, which is about 15 grams lighter than the stock wedge shaft in a blade wedge.
Yeah.
So it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. You're going from cavity back irons that, you know, are easy to hit,
light
lighter
shafts usually.
Exactly. Going from that to a blade wedge, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So we said, well, let's come out with a wedge that is going to help those golfers that play cavity back irons.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see how versatile this club is. Say in a bunker, this is a 60 degree. I use a 60 degree. You've got to remember the sole is thick in the toe, but thinner in the heel. So when Zach's talking about relief, what he's saying is that we can actually lay the club open because the sole isn't thick in the heel. We can still get that club kind of on the ground. And in a bunker shot, let's say there was less sand, there's plenty in this one, and I really wanted to twist that face to point it up to the sky, I'm gonna need relief here. So you're getting chunkiness, you're getting cavity back, you're getting help, but you're also getting a bit of versatility. I mean, that's quite unique, isn't it? Now when I put this club down by the ball, 60 degree, there's plenty of face there, but I still feel like it's really, really gameable. To be honest with you, it doesn't feel that dissimilar to the wedges I've got, which are bladed. And then when it comes to help with the cavity back, you've got to remember, like I say in lots of videos, you've got plenty of loft. D-plane's going to be your biggest friend here, rather than so much in the cavity back. But what I like is the blend. So the blend in how it looks compared to your chunky irons coming down to this. Because obviously your bladed wedges will be thinner than this, but this still looks close to them. And then obviously you've got the weight of shaft ideas getting lighter. Just makes sense. It'll feel similar to your other clubs. It's that blend. There's nothing worse. I hate sets and always have done. I remember when I first went to a big headed driver, I would then pick up my 3-wood and it felt so small I never wanted to hit it until they got bigger. And I think the same thing can happen with wedges. You're all out there trying to get your bladed wedges when maybe something with a bit of help and that blends but gives you versatility is a better option. Right, 60 yards out, let's do a bit of pitching to finish. I'll hit a standard one. I'm going to try and throw one up with my 60, so I'm going to use the versatility and see what it feels like. Now I understand why bladed wedges are so appealing. You know, they feel like putters, they're specialised, so people like going that specialised kind of club. But you've got to remember, it's not just the specialising in the looks. There needs to be some specialising in the performance. So what I mean by that is it's got to be blending with the performance of your other club. You can't have massive strike gaps. So cavity back wedge, low spinning usually because you've got CGs off the face which go X distance, then you jump to a bladed wedge where as soon as you stop missing the middle you get the big drop-offs and changes in spin. This is going to give you such a better blend option if you are, I mean, put your hands up out there now if you've got cavity back iron. Go and put your hands up. Yeah, most of you. Now put your hands up if you've got cavity back specialised wedges. I can't see any of you. Do you see what I mean? You're all going to be putting your hands up if I say you've got some specialised fancy wedge from other companies. But this makes sense to me. If I was selling clubs still, I would have a lot of these around if I was selling this brand of club to try and mix it in with their set, because it would be such a seamless change, I think, for people. Right, I caught that first one a little thin. I'm going to try and just lob this one up now, and the pin's right at the front. So I'm opening, twisting that club open, and I'm glad that heel is not too big. A little heavy, but I've thrown that up no problem. It's actually done very well. And then one more standard one. Sound, feel, to be honest with you, they feel the same as any other club. They feel nice, the looks are good. The performance is as good as I put in there. Throwing that a little too far, but the strike was fine. Yeah, the other thing to bear in mind here is you're not going to get your range of bounce and loft options that you might get from other ones. But again, you've got plenty of relief in this sole and the bounces are pretty standard. This is one lots of you should maybe try and check out next time you're testing clubs.